So this is an RA Amemia, and it's basically an RX-7 tuned for toge racing, and it's absolutely incredible. However, you may have noticed that wasn't its normal engine note. No, this is no longer rotary powered. In fact, it's sat with a Roadster Shop Rampage engine in it, and it's absolutely one of the most bizarre engine swaps I've currently got within GT7. So I thought I'd go and test it out in VR. So this engine swap here came with update 1.29 and is probably one of my favourite that has ever been put into Gran Turismo 7. It's absolutely bizarre. So I put the engine in, I didn't bother doing any tuning or any messing around, adding upgrades and such, because I found out during my testing video for this car that it's absolutely hilarious to throw it around and drift about. So I knew really what I was in for, but I just didn't expect it to be just this nuts. So I decided to load up a bunch of different tracks and basically see what it was like in VR, and honestly it didn't disappoint. As soon as I went to put the throttle down, the back end would kick out, it wouldn't brake, it wouldn't turn, it's just got far too much power for the standard parts in it. However, that's part of the reason why I absolutely enjoy using this car, because it just is completely ridiculous, throwing out a ridiculous amount of power at the rear wheels and basically making it one of the most edgy and sketchy drives I can currently do within GT7, and it's just all the more fun for it. So race 1 actually went quite well, to be honest, well, at least up until this point. So currently I'm racing some of the most luxurious and classic supercars really ever made. They're all purpose built. Meanwhile, I could just imagine their little driver looking in the mirror, seeing this RX-7 with an engine swap basically hooning itself around. It was rather quite funny. However, one thing I did notice whilst using this engine swap rocket was basically I was getting a little bit motion sick. The amount of times I was getting thrown sideways and spinning it around really, which you'll kind of see soon, was probably one of the more uncomfortable feelings that I've had whilst in PSVR2 and GT7. So let's have a look where it kind of all went wrong. So I got onto my second lap, and this is where it went wrong. I decided to go alongside the Viper and basically forgot that I never changed the brakes and slammed myself into the barrier. In my complete disappointment, I decided to think ahead and decide where I was going to go next. So there was only one place for it really, Tokyo at night. So this was definitely going to be one of the more sketchy races. 20 cars on this tight little track is definitely asking for trouble. However, I got off to a, well, pretty clean start, to be quite honest. I knew it was going to be a little bit rough and tough, and the car decided to, well, behave most of the time, to be quite honest. It definitely didn't feel as sketchy as I thought it was going to be. However, I did nearly plough myself into the back of some of the most iconic JDM cars of all time. In fact, things went far too well at Tokyo. By the round about the third or fourth corner, I almost felt like I got a grip with this car and I'd become one with it. In fact, it was behaving far too well, but obviously that wasn't going to last for long. By the time I'd taken the lead and got myself onto lap 2, I went into this left-hander and made a complete mess of it. I tried to whip a little handbrake turn and it basically, completely backfired on me. So that was Tokyo over and done with. So where would I go to next? Well, I decided to go over to Lake Major, and this time we were taking on some more kind of, supercars, muscle cars and all of those likes. And well, at first it was going rather quite well. A little bit sketchy again with the off-camber turns really causing the car a bit of issue. However, I decided to be an absolute genius and stuck some racing rubber on this car, and well, it didn't improve much, put it that way. So we're getting alongside some of these beautiful cars. We're in VR, everyone else looks absolutely massive compared to us when we're next to them, but I decided to take it to them anyways. The poor little Alpine gets eaten up by pretty much everything, and then I decided to get a little bit more motion sickness as I decided to basically take the big curvy right hander that goes back on itself, and realised it's very, very steep in VR, so that wasn't the most pleasant feeling. And then we went for our first crash of the day, a nice little spin, but we did manage to catch it and keep the car going, which at this point I thought I got away quite lucky. However, we came into the motion sickness capital of the world, and it went quite wrong again. Trying to get it nice and sideways, and just binned it around. So that was my time with the RE Amemia, over and done with its ridiculous engine swap. However, it was a massively enjoyable time, and I must say, if you do have PSVR2 and you have some stupid engine swap sat in your garage, put it in and go and have some fun. Yes, you may end up feeling, a little bit green in the face, but trust me, it's probably some of the most joyful fun I've currently had with PSVR2. So that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I wanted the perfect excuse to use some of my sketchy cars within GT7, and this car instantly came to mind. Thank you to my sponsors, Poggers and the Controller people, for their continued support, and to you guys for putting up with me and putting up with my ridiculous voice for the last 2 days. I am a little bit sick, however I am on the recovery, so hopefully I can push out that bigger and better content as the week goes on. I'll see you all later, guys. Have a great day, and as always, peace.